Okay, so basically what happened was I wasted pretty much 3 decades of my life just not pursuing anything worthwhile, not taking advantage of any skills or talents I might have. October 2012, my wife asked me to carve a pumpkin for her pre-K class. And it wasn't that she said, Jeremy, I see in you an innate sculptural ability that's just yearning to break free. None of that. They just put a lot of stuff on teachers. So I did what anybody would do these days. I Googled pumpkin carving. And it's come a long way since the triangle eyes and the gap tooth grins that we're used to when we were growing up. And so I Googled pumpkin carving, and there's this show on Food Network called the Halloween Wars. And it made pumpkin carving look really cool. So I'd watch this show and I'd Google pumpkins, and I carved about 3 pumpkins that year. And none of them were particularly great, but it was enough to spark the fire that it's basically consumed my life, more or less. This art passion, it's just exploded from that.
Exploded is somewhat of an understatement. Since carving that first pumpkin at the kitchen table, Jeremy's transformation into a master sculptor has been more like a cosmic eruption. What you and I see as an everyday object, to Jeremy, it's his canvas. Doesn't matter if it's a dead tree, a raw potato, or even a gigantic watermelon. Oh, and did I say water? Yeah, he somehow managed to incorporate that into his artwork as well. So you see, for Jeremy, the sky's the limit.
Pumpkins rot, and it sucks to spend hours on something that basically a few people will look at and say, that's really cool, but then it goes away after a while. So eventually I bought a $60 Dremel, and my neighbor gave me a piece of firewood from his firewood pile. And I dremeled on that piece of wood for 4 months. 4 months. I turned that piece of wood into a piece of art that I sold for $1,000. It was my first wood carving. And instead of buying some fly rims for my Toyota Corolla or going on a nice weekend getaway vacation, I bought my very first chainsaw and carving bar and safety equipment.
Yeah, that Jeremy sure has vision, doesn't he? And one thing he has never lost sight of is this, or rather one just like it. You see, to you and I, this is just your average poker chip. But to Jeremy, this little token of hope is something that changed his life. The way Jeremy explains it, the poker chip is a daily reminder of what life was like before he found his love of carving. A metaphor, if you will, to never again gamble away his future.
In May of 2012, I was able to shed myself of my opioid addiction that had pretty much consumed my life for the last 12 years. Basically, a good decade, just complete waste of life. And I eventually got a hold of things, and so by the time October of 2012 had come around, I guess I was in need of a hobby. And so here's this pumpkin carving thing, and they say you're never really cured of addiction, and I can kind of sympathize with that. I just kind of like substituted one addiction for another, and that's a trade I'd make every day of the week.
It was therapy, I guess?
Sometimes yeah, sometimes no, but honestly, after I carved that first pumpkin, Ray, I'm not gonna say it was some kind of lightning bolt or gestalt or God was talking to me, but it really, I knew that if I kept carving, good things would happen. And for some reason, I was right.
Sadly, while his newfound passion helped Jeremy carve a future of inner peace, brother Chris wasn't so lucky. In 2018, the former Rockmart police officer lost his long battle with alcoholism. As a tribute to him, Jeremy created this work of art, which now resides at the Rockmart High School football field, a place where Chris enjoyed spending his fall Friday nights working security. Jeremy says if there is one piece of advice he could give fellow addicts, it's this.
If I had talked to him, I think maybe could have held on to him for a little bit longer. You know, that kills me every day. So that's what makes me not quiet about it anymore, is the fact that maybe if I talk about it, somebody else will feel a little bit more comfortable about it. And we can all realize that we're all just human beings struggling on this big ball of dirt. And we all have problems and foibles and weaknesses, and we all got to help each other.